Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right, so I promised you I was going to do a conspiracy theory read on Josh Hawley, Rand Paul, and Tommy Tuberville. The conspiracy theory goes something to the effect of all of these nominations. Tuberville is holding up the nominations of military generals. Josh Hawley is holding up the nominations for members of the State Department, and Rand Paul is holding up nominations for ambassadors to foreign countries. What do all these things have in common? Well, Trump did not have, in the non-peaceful transfer of power in 2020, Trump did not have support of the military. So that's a key one right there. If you're going to pull a self-coup, you need to have the military on board. The State Department ambassadors, they're your liaisons to other countries, allied countries. So it would make sense that you want loyal members, always Trumpers, in as your top generals, as your State Department, and as your ambassadors to other countries to prevent pressure from other countries about what's going on in the U.S. should you attempt a self-coup. So the conspiracy theory is that the coup's not over, and members of the coup are plotting their next go-around for taking over the government. Because none of the leaders of the coup have been prosecuted, the coup is still ongoing. By definition, it's ongoing because nobody's been held to account for it. And I don't consider a bunch of insurrectionists like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to be being held to account as fixing the coup. No, you took out some foot soldiers. Additionally, Donald Trump has not been held to account for the events on January 6th and the coup. The other person that is involved in all this is Ted Cruz. I believe he is working with Josh Hawley on holding up nominations. Now, for what I'm seeing in my articles I have here, Hawley is saying the reason why he's holding up the nominations is because he doesn't like how the U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan. Rand Paul is holding up the nominations because he wants information on COVID-19. Tuberville is holding up the nominations because of abortion and women's health care rights. These are all culture war, hot button topics with the GOP, and those concerns have absolutely nothing to do with what they're holding up. Because the military allows personnel to go to different states for women's health care is no reason to hold up the generals. Because the COVID had a COVID-19 response that Rand Paul, who's an eye doctor, not a viral doctor, that's no reason to hold up your ambassadors. How do you even make that connection? I don't know. Josh Hawley holding up State Department members because he doesn't like the deal that Trump cut that Biden had to implement. It doesn't make any sense. So their arguments don't make any sense. And they're just all saying, well, we're leveraging what power we have to get what we want. In all instances, two things are interesting. One, they've been given the information that they've asked for, but they keep moving the goalposts. And two, Senator Bob Menendez, as the chair of the Foreign Relations, is involved in all three of these things, if I'm not mistaken. Pausing for a quick second there. Bob Menendez is not, he's the Senate Foreign Relations Committee chairman. He is not with the military promotions, but he is with the ambassadors and the State Department. So that's an interesting twist because of the ethics scandal involving Bob Menendez and the political pressure he's under. And I need to sort of figure out what his role in all this is. He may not be abetting, but the fact that he's under investigation and puts a lot of pressure on him means probably Josh Hawley and Rand Paul can run rampant in those committees because the committee chair is in trouble. All right. Now, again, the whole thought on this appears to be a continuation of the coup, the self-coup that Trump tried to initiate at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021 when he refused to peacefully transfer power to Biden. Let's see what the cards say about this situation. Entertainment purposes only. Now, we're delving into conspiracy theories here, so take it with a grain of salt. But between Tuberville's holding up of military promotions, Rand Paul's holding up of ambassadors, and Josh Hawley holding up of State Departments, what do these things have in common? Are they related to the coup with Donald Trump? Hanged Man. It's on the low energy. It's, how do I put this? On the high energy, they're trying to represent this as them standing up for their moral and ethical concerns, be it women's abortion or COVID-19 or the pullout of Afghanistan. They're trying to, show that they're trying to look at these things in a different light, and they're just trying to be bipartisan and working with people. But yeah, they'll hold up these things to get what they want. That's what they're presenting. My concern is the hangman's also the willing sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? And it's holding up the work, the necessary work of the United States. And it's underneath it is the Two of Wands. This is a planned event. So that tells me that these guys are risking their careers and their freedom for a coordinated event. And they're working on something. It's a group project that they're working on. And this project is in progress. In the past, Ten of Swords. Okay, so this starts with the Republicans losing the presidency in 2020. And the fear of losing power. I think what they see is when Donald Trump, they got to see their power zenith from 2016 to 2018. And then there was a big pushback from 2018 when the Democrats had a blue wave and took back Congress to 2020. They're starting to see the pushback on there. And this is their big gambit to maintain in power and control. Current situation is the Star card. I think that they feel that their efforts are in the best interest, and I wouldn't say of the country, but of themselves, individual stars, with one big bright shining star, and that's dear leader, and then his lieutenants that are helping him along. They're doing this, again, I believe this is all for self-enrichment. This is not for the benefit of the country. This is for the benefit of themselves. Yep. Because what better position, if you can't be the dictator for life, than being one of his top lieutenants? So, think of Putin and his oligarchs. Yeah, Putin gets to sit on the throne and call the shots, but the oligarchs are the ones that ultimately wield power. And these gentlemen are setting themselves up to be the ruling class, the lords of the land, to the king, whoever the king is. The lesson to be learned, though, is that they're running out of time. There's investigations that are going on with, like, the Jack Smiths of this world. And they're in a race against time to get their emperor elected. If they fail in this matter, justice or the prosecution is going to be coming for them. King of Swords isn't always Jack Smith. This could just be them saying, we are going to rule and we're going to tell you what to do and how to do it. But I think they also fear the Justice Department because there is a race between installing your emperor and Jack Smith taking your emperor down. The outcome is the Fool. I think in this case, what they're doing is a new exercise in trying to change the type of government and the way the United States is run. And to me, I think they're about to walk off a cliff. Honestly think so here. they think they're patriots. They think that they're doing this for the benefit of the country, and that they're the new 1776 guys, and they're going to work on their new constitution. But you have to kill the old constitution to do that. But again, they want to be the patriots. They want to be the founding fathers. They want to tell people what to do and how to do it. It can happen here. It can happen here. So that's the energy around this. What's Donald Trump's link to all of these men? Because they wouldn't be doing it without a quote-unquote charismatic leader. We can have our discussions and debates about Donald Trump, but it is quite evident he is charismatic to a certain group of people. The MAGA folks, the folks that make up MAGA, are enamored with Trump. The man could do no wrong. And, it's like a cult to the point that he can do anything he wants to, and the members will slavishly defend him. So what's Donald Trump's role in all this, or what does he think of all this? He's the one pushing it. He is absolutely pushing this. Basically, the coordination is he gets in charge, and he'll be able to stay in charge if they succeed. So to me, he's the one pushing this plan. He's getting folks to compromise their values and the values of this country. He is promising, he's promising money and power to the folks that help out with this. And it's all purely voluntary. Little loyalty, little slavish cultistness to the man that is Donald Trump, to the demon that is Trump. So the demon, it's like, you follow me, you do what I say, I've got this plan, we're going to go forward with strong action. You'll be rewarded. The more you're loyal to me, the more reward you'll get. So these folks will bind themselves to Donald Trump. Lord knows there might be compromise. Again, the Russians did break into the RNC, and we've never seen the RNC emails, so I'm sure there's some compromise. That's the stick. The compromise, the stick, the putting Donald Trump as the authoritarian, that's the carrot. The gold that goes with the stick. You don't support us, we're going to embarrass you with compromising emails. You do support us, you get a reward. So what does it take to overthrow your country? Put yourself in a position where you can be blackmailed. In the past, we've got the Three of Cups. So here's your three men toasting Donald Trump. Now, mind you, Josh Hawley, Tommy Tuberville, Ted Cruz, and Rand Paul, I believe all of them supported the initiative to reject the election, send the votes back to the House, send the votes back to the state. They were all involved in this plot. And I believe they're all willing participants in this plot. All hail Donald Trump. Current situation. Trump is encouraging them. Well, their actions are reckless. But Trump needed them to move quickly and swiftly in this regard. Think of also the Knight of Swords as being your general, the general leading the charge. Your State Department and ambassadors, they're leading the charge against your enemies. You need these people in key positions to support the coup when the coup comes. Now, mind you, if Donald Trump is elected president in 2024, and I've not seen that happen, but if he's elected president, he's got time to flush out the ranks. He can already have his 4-star generals and such, and State Department folks that he wants in there if they hold out long enough for that to happen. And then during the next 4 years, Trump can continue installing cronies such that when the election in 2028 happens and he has to leave because, he only get 2 terms, he won't leave, and he'll have the military support and the State Department's support and the ambassador's support to stay in there. And we've become, at that point, an authoritarian government. Overarching situation, the overarching energy, though, is destruction and the downfall. This is the downfall. Basically, you're taking down the United States. You will destroy democracy. You will destroy the United States and the power and the prestige that was the United States with this plan. He has no problem tearing it all down. All because the little Donnie there can't believe that people voted him out. And now he's worried about going to prison. So he would rather tear down the whole country than face an ounce of consequence for his actions. The lesson to be learned from this all is the chariot. This slow-moving coup has been going on for a while. Please remember, you might have to go back and look it up, but throughout the late spring to summer to fall of 2020, the Republicans kept saying the Democrats were part of a slow-rolling coup attempt. Do you remember that? I'll see if I can find it and link it in the comments. But I know they said that. And we know that the Republicans project their guilt onto others. Donald Trump projects his guilt onto others, specifically his enemies, and always the Democrats. So, when it's the Democrats are trying to have a slow-moving, slow-rolling coup, it's the Republicans who are doing that. But they're accusing the Democrats of doing that. So when the topic of coup comes out, the MAGA folks are, oh yeah, that's right, they told us the Democrats are doing a coup. And if the Democrats are saying, no, here's the evidence saying the Republicans are doing the coup, the MAGA folks don't care because they've already been indoctrinated into coup attempts equal Democrats, not Republicans. This is the slow-rolling coup. And Trump's plan is grinding forward. And it's being aided and abetted by these four men. The outcome is the Page of Swords. I like the fact that we're moving from the Knight of Swords to hurry up and rush and get this to a Page of Swords as the outcome. It's a degradation. It's a degradation of power and of idealism. So the strength that they're showing now will show weakening. Now, we've already seen Tommy Tuberville relent on the 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star general promotions, but not the 4 stars. So already he's weakening his position. I'll be curious to see what happens with Rand Paul and Josh Hawley. But again, you've got Bob Menendez in as the chair of the committees that they're in, and he's under a lot of legal trouble, and that's probably preventing the Democrats from taking stronger steps because the Republicans can just push back and note Menendez's troubles and deflect. No, don't look at us for not approving these things. Look at Menendez; he's corrupt. We should probably focus on removing him and coming up with a new chair, and then they can just sort of kick the can down the road for their blocking of promotions and filling of positions. Now, okay, that's Trump's involvement with it. Trump, again, I think Trump is going to be weakened through this. This plan's not going to work. But I think, again, what's going to happen is they just can't block it for that long. Their power keeps eroding as time goes on. They're trying desperately to hold these things out until Trump is elected in 2024. That's what they're hoping will happen. All right, so let's see. What's in it for Rand Paul? Or let's y'all do. What's in it for Rand Paul, for Ted Cruz, for Josh Hawley, and Tommy Tuberville? What's in it for them? King of Cups. We got daddy issues. Would they be in charge? Let's see. I'm just going to do a 4-carder. money. They'll be rulers. I'm struck by these two cards here. What's in it for them? They're trying to take down Biden and end the Biden regime, the Biden presidency. They want to bring an end to democracy. Biden represents democracy. They want an end to it. It's funny because I always, I use this as kind of a naivety on their part. A naivety. Now, to them, they think that if they do what, Trump tells them to, they're going to get rewarded. They're like naive little kids on this one. I also use this as my 50s card, whether it's the 1950s, 1850s, 1750s, or the 1650s, or the 1050s. They want to go back. And to me, this is going back Europe. They want to be lords. They want to have their own serfdoms, feudal kingdoms. But they've tied themselves to Trump. They have absolutely tied themselves to this. This is about legacy for them. They want to be the new ruling class in the United States, and there's a lot of money and power that comes along with that. But they're being naive. They think that they bring down Biden, they can do this. But what they've really done, democracy can be fairly resilient. Now, mind you, I don't think democracy is going to survive if Trump gets in. And he's able to establish cronyism in the military and in the State Department. I don't think he'll be able to get him out. But they've tied themselves to the devil in this case. So they're in it for wealth and power. They're in it for wealth and power, and they will be the lords of the land. Hooray. Because we all want the Josh Hawleys and Ted Cruz's of the world telling us what to do and how to do it, right? Is the Department of Justice investigating the actions of these men? Is this being investigated by the Department of Justice? Is the FBI investigating the actions of these men? Has the Department of Justice taken notice? Are they putting together a case against these former insurrectionists, current insurrectionists, and noting the actions that they're doing? Will there be indictments before the election? That might be two different questions. Let's see what Spirit has to say about investigations and potential indictments. Entertainment purposes only. All right, come on. Let's see what we got. The world. Bringing an end to things, or it could be other countries throughout the world, whether you're talking about ambassadors and state departments and generals and the hanged man. Ace of Cups. It might not just be stuff that's happening in the United States. But again, that's where I think the ambassadors and the State Department folks come in here. It's not just a U.S. thing, it's a world thing. And that they're taking a big picture look as to what's going on here. Are they looking at indictments? They're definitely investigating. Absolutely investigating. But this might be is that these actions are, again, a subset of a much, much bigger plot. In my reading that I did on Tommy Tuberville, I had the Wheel of Fortune card, which is the coup attempt in place. It means it's ongoing. This is the completion of the coup attempt. So they're tying it all together. They're tying the coup attempt with the machinations going now and tying it all together to bring an end to it. They're looking not only at these leaders, but other people supporting it. Those folks are going to be willing sacrifices. And I think again, this is a huge, huge investigation that's going on. Ace of Cups underneath it. That strong emotional component. it's probably, you can imagine for the FBI and Department of Justice, they tend to be populated with lots of very traditional conservative folks who, they're patriots and stuff, put the patriots in air quotes, but that's how they view themselves. And to see that members of their party, of their political party, are doing stuff like this is probably devastating to them. That, their political party is the one that's trying to destroy democracy. It's got to be really difficult on some of these folks here. In the past, Jack Smith, Department of Justice, are they looking into it? Yes, they've been looking into it. I'm sure starting all the way back with Bob Mueller, spinning stuff up with the Russia and the investigation that came out of that, the special counsel, the FBI and the Department of Justice. I think they've all been looking in this one, and this is in the past. So I think they're monitoring things. I don't know why they haven't moved yet. I don't know what they need to move, but this tells me that they have been monitoring it. They're building their cases. The World Card can also be your CIA too with this one. It's probably involves all the intelligence agencies. They have to coordinate and get their stuff together. This is going to be a big case. This is going to be basically a groundbreaking, giant political case, and it's really going to tug at the heartstrings of the folks in the Department of Justice as well as Americans. Good. We've got a Queen of Swords up here. Just got the King and the Queen. I just want to get the Ace of Swords in there too, huh? Overarching energy is the Queen of Swords. Tough decisions need to be made. This is not the time for loyalty. This is the time for tough decisions. I don't think of the Queen as being a downgrade of the King. I think they're equal here. It's just that tough decisions need to be made on what's going on with these. When do you stop the case? Because you can't let it go for too long. Otherwise, the insurrectionists, the coup plotters, actually could come into power. So you have to stop it before they get into power. I guess in some ways, they hope that the voters don't vote them in so that they can wrap up their case. But if not, they need to make a choice when to cut it. Big disappointment. Huge loss. This case is going to be devastating to the United States. It is going to be humbling. It's going to be humiliating because it almost happened here. It came that close to happening here. Outcome is the tower. I don't think this is the fall of the United States. Probably in a parallel universe, there is the fall of the United States. I think, though, that since the Department of Justice has been on this and they're not for this, that this is going to be the downfall of the insurrectionists. This whole case is going to bring around their downfall, and it probably is going to bring down a major political party, too. Wow. Okay. Vote, people. We can do our part by getting out and voting. You get out and vote, and don't let these folks get in power, political power. I mean, obviously, if you are in a swing state or battleground state, your vote is huge. And the influence that you have around your peers to vote blue up and down the ticket just to defend democracy is enormous. But even for folks like myself who are in a very safe blue state, in a blue district, we need to get out and vote too, because we need to build up that base, especially a progressive base at the local levels, so that there's support for big changes, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, where what is a progressive idea now, 15 to 20 years from now, would be normal, or maybe even a touch on the conservative side of things. Time to dream big a little bit, but we need to get out and vote. if we don't get out and vote, if we don't encourage like-minded people to get out and vote, we're going to lose our democracy. In Liz Cheney's book, she talks about that. She basically, there was a quote in there saying America is sleepwalking into a dictatorship. So we have to do our parts. And part of this channel is to constantly hammer that point home and get the word out for folks to get out and vote. For folks outside the United States, it's very stressful times here right now. Don't get me wrong, it is really stressful. And we don't know how it's going to turn out either. Understand the majority of Americans do not support an authoritarian government. We do not support Trump. When you look at the popular vote, Trump loses by millions of votes in the U.S. A lot of the folks that support Trump, they've been lied to by propaganda campaigns. They've been lied to for years, for decades, and they are so deep into Donald Trump and the cult of Donald Trump that they don't use their critical thinking skills. They don't question. They just do what they're told because that's what they're really, really good at. Again, as a kid, I often wondered why the Germans supported Adolf Hitler when he was so clearly evil. But, that's the simplistic nature of a kid is, you look at somebody like Hitler and you just vilify him. You dehumanize him. And he was a human and he had good qualities. But treating Jews fairly and gypsies and stuff like that wasn't among them. And now when I say he's got good qualities, there's pictures of him walking hand in hand with a little girl around there. It looks, if you didn't know who it would look really cute. And understand that Hitler wasn't 100% evil 100% of the time. And that's what makes demonizing people a dangerous thing to do, because you just think of Donald Trump being all evil all the time when he's not. But because he's not, he doesn't come across as all evil all the time. So people are willing to cut him some slack. They're willing to become members of the cult of personality and do his bidding. He eats around the edges. He eats your morality and your ethics around the edges and gets you to just do a little bit more, just do a little bit more. Next thing you know, you're overthrowing your government. It's hard times, and we've got another 12 months to go before we know the election results, actually 13 months, election results, and get these votes tallied. I expect that there's going to be a really rough year this year in the United States, and it's going to be rough through the first half of January of 2025, assuming that the Democrats win. I expect that there's going to be massive protests and even more violence, because the Republicans are just going to lie to their base and say this election was stolen too, and just keep working on infuriating their base and the Freedom Caucus base and the MAGAs out there into saying that the Democrats are stealing their election, and not to treat them like their neighbors, but to treat them like enemies. We're in for it for a while. Okay. Sorry to be such a downer on that one, but that's kind of the reality of what we're facing. If we can win this election and get through this, rely on law enforcement and intelligence to round up people before they cause violence, and then pass a bunch of laws to get rid of voter suppression and hold the Fox Newses and Newsmax and OANs accountable for broadcasting lies, we can lower the temperature down and start turning America back into a democracy again. Okay, I've gone on long enough. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. I hope you found this video interesting, insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.